we've got our first NBA Christmas Day game featuring future greatest basketball player of all time, Victor Wembanyama, and his San Antonio Spurs march into our backyard, Madison Square Garden, to take on the New York Knicks. I've always wanted to go to a Knicks Christmas Day game because the atmosphere is so electric. It's one of the best games of the year to attend in the entire NBA calendar. Whoever it is that they play, the crowd always shows up. It's usually an entertaining game, whether they're playing Milwaukee or Philadelphia, Boston, Miami. It's always a good game. And this year, we get Wemby coming to the Garden after last season. He stunk it up in the Garden his first game, but then they played in San Antonio after that. And Brunson, I believe, had 60 or like 58 or something, and Wemby had 40 and 20. So that was an epic game. So that'll be a lot of fun. Let's start here. Let's start with San Antonio, because of course I have to start with San Antonio. Why would I start with the Knicks? Victor Wembanyama, over his last 14 games, 29 points per game, 10 rebounds per game, just shy of 5 assists per game, 4 blocks and a steal. I know you're not a big advanced numbers guy. You're not a nerd. His advanced numbers are off the charts over this span. The only guys that are better than him by most advanced charts, it's Giannis, it's Shea, and it's Jokic. And one has Tatum above him. But it's basically like Wemby's been a top 5 player for half of this season so far. And I'm really excited to see what he does on Christmas Day. He has to show up. He has to put on a good performance, and this has to be a good game. We're going to get into it a little bit later, but like the NBA has been very worried about ratings. I made a TikTok that did pretty well talking about how Wemby like is the guy. If you're going to build around a LeBron figure in the future, you got to pick Wemby. This is, I believe, the Christmas Day football games kick off at 1 and 4:30, right? Do you know? Yeah, so you're going to get an hour of this game before the masses start switching over and watching football on Netflix, which is going to be I bet it's going to go great just because of the Logan Paul fight or Jake Paul fight. Great streaming over there.
Yeah, I was about to say that, Hen. I would not worry so much about that because Netflix stinks it up with live programming, just stinky and bad. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. But it is a football crowd going up against the NBA. But again, the NBA owns Christmas. Ratings are ratings. You know, the NBA audience is younger. They don't watch traditionally. Also, just not to get on a soapbox here, but the way that we track ratings using Nielsen data and stuff like that is just frankly outdated for the modern consumer. So I don't worry about the NBA ratings too much. I know a lot of NBA haters, mainly the Clay Travises of the world, love to point to the declining ratings. But yeah, there's a reason why I called that out. But I think I wouldn't worry so much about that. The revenues are high. I'm not super concerned. And again, people start paying more attention to things after Christmas. The declining ratings this year, if anything, are a reflection on the NBA Cup. And I've said that, but we're not getting into that right now.
Yeah, NBA Cup is over. The Bucks won, much to your chagrin. But let's bring things back. Sorry to get off on a tangent. A really fascinating stat that I wanted to show you is that in the minutes that Wemby and Chris Paul have played together, about 600-ish, the team has a 10.3 net rating. That is on par with Boston, with Cleveland, with Oklahoma City, with the best teams in the NBA. Their defensive rating with those guys on the court is top 5. Without them, not particularly strong. If you'll just allow me to rant here about Wemby for a little bit. Like, he's it. He's exactly as good as everybody thought he could possibly be. He is already by far the best rim protector in the NBA. He's not just a great rim protector. He is a great defensive playmaker, getting his hands into passing lanes, poking the ball away. A lot of his blocks are not swatted into the stands. They are grabbed or hit back into the game where someone can recover the ball, get another possession, so it's not just giving the ball right back to the offense. And then his shooting splits after a really rough start have started to really turn around. His 3-point volume, everybody was questioning it. I was questioning it. Why is this 7'4" guy taking so many damn 3-pointers? But you want to know what? it's working out. He's shooting better from behind the arc. His overall shooting efficiency numbers are up. His 2-point efficiency is way up as compared to last year. He's not settling for as many contested mid-range jumpers. The one thing that has a little bit cause for concern, he's not getting to the line as much as I would like to see. But overall, you could argue his defense has slightly stepped up from last year, where he was already a DPOY candidate, and his offense has improved by leaps and bounds. He's a much better offensive player this year than he was last year.
Yeah, I mean, you're the Wemby guy in the show. I am not. So I'm going to talk about the Knicks, if you don't mind.
Yeah, let's talk about the Knicks.
Knicks should win this game. I think the Knicks have no answer for Wemby, as most teams in the league do not. But for the supporting cast of the Spurs, I think the Knicks actually are built from a defensive standpoint to cause trouble, especially out on the wing. The Knicks, at this point in the year, are a little bit, I would say, underperforming the expectation. But to be underperforming and still where they are, I think is actually in a way a win, especially when you compare them to a team we'll get to a little bit later in Minnesota. The Cat trade has worked out for the Knicks. Cat has been playing at a really high level. They won that trade. It's a couple days before Christmas, they won that trade. And their team has navigated the rocky waters, and they're doing well, especially when you look at how much Minnesota has struggled, which we'll get to later. I like Brunson. I like Anunoby. I'm intrigued to see what Cat does with Wemby, but Spurs cover. It's plus 8.5. Spurs cover that. Knicks win it, though.
I agree. I think the Knicks win. They're really starting to round into form. The reason why they haven't been as impressive as we thought, the defense was just so bad to start the year, but it's picked up. It's picked up as of late. Over the last 10 games, they're third in defensive rating. Over the last 15 games, they're top 10. Not the strongest of competitions. There's some Charlottes thrown in there, some Toronto Raptors thrown in there. Not exactly a murderer's row of offenses, but OG Anunoby is the best wing defender in basketball. Mikal Bridges has looked a lot better on that
Much
end.
better.
Cat is not allowing guys to shoot literally 100% at the rim as he was for the first few weeks of the season. So I think the Knicks will win as well. They're the better team. They're the more talented team. I just really want to see Wemby play really well. I think that's really important for the league, that on a Christmas Day against the Knicks, you need the guy who you hope to be the next face of the league to put on a show and to make it really entertaining for the fans.
Yeah, the Ringer put out an article ranking the games, and they put this game as the best matchup, the best game to watch. And I actually don't think they're wrong. I actually think, unfortunately, this Christmas Day slate kind of sucks. I'm not going to lie. I don't think it's very good. I think some of the scheduling was a problem. To not have an Oklahoma City or a Milwaukee in here, I do believe is a miss on the NBA's part, and we'll get to that. But this should be a good game. I think seeing Wemby on this stage will be exciting, and I actually agree with you, Henry. I hope he shows out. The team that I just mentioned, the Timberwolves, they draw the Mavericks. Mavericks 2.5-point favorites. This is a bummer because I think coming off of the Western Conference Finals last year, I would think this rematch has some juice to it. But the Timberwolves, man, are just really struggling. You have Julius Randle not playing defense. You have Chris Finch coming out and saying the team just can't put the ball in the basket. They're 14-13 right now. They're not favored in this game. They just seem a little bit lost. And getting rid of Cat has not really given them the returns that they thought it would get. Meanwhile, Dallas, I'm very high on Dallas right now. I think Dallas is turning a corner. You mentioned it last week on the show how well Luka's been playing of late. He is now firmly in the MVP race, in my opinion. Dallas is really starting to round into form. And I had them finishing third in the West in my preseason prediction. And I think they are right on track to do that again. They look good. I know they didn't play well against Oklahoma City NBA Cup, but look how Oklahoma City did against the Bucks. I mean, come on. They did not show up. So I think Dallas is rounding a corner at the right time. Minnesota is just not clicking, Hen. I don't have the advanced numbers. That's not my game. But when you watch that team, they just don't look quite like the team from last year. They clearly miss Cat. Offensively, they're struggling. I thought the Cat trade would warrant some bucket getters, especially on the perimeter, with Randall and DiVincenzo. That has not happened. It's just the team is really struggling. And I think with all the hype for the team coming in this year, especially from me, to see them struggle this much has been unfortunate. Now, if they come out and they dominate Dallas on the road and get a big win, maybe that's the thing to right the ship. The NBA season really doesn't start till after Christmas anyway. So you get a win there, you're right back on track. But at this point, I would take Dallas to cover -2.5. I take Dallas obviously to win outright because of that. I'm really impressed with what Dallas has done, how they've weathered the NBA Finals hangover. I'm not impressed with Minnesota thus far. They don't look good.
Yeah, the Wolves just have horrific vibes. Anthony Edwards is basically calling out the team after every single loss, saying, our offense is lost. We don't know what to do. We're just not clicking. We're not hitting shots. Seems like he's firing actual like missiles at players on the team. Like he's trying to motivate guys, trying to get them light a fire under their ass. The offense has been abysmal. 21st this season over the last 10 games. Second worst in the NBA. It's been really bad.
Well, wasn't that good last year? That's the thing that people forget. It wasn't that good last year either.
But the defense, although it has ratcheted up, is good. It's not excellent like it was last year. Last year it was excellent. This year it's been very good, and that's a big difference because Karl Anthony Towns, we joke as much about his lack of rim deterrence and his goofiness, but he is a goddamn sniper of the basketball. He morphs defenses and bends them where they have to get out to him. The game that the Knicks had against the Wolves where they beat them? I think we didn't mention that. Like, Cat had a homecoming in Minnesota and was extraordinary, and the Wolves got absolutely annihilated. They were like the second quarter on, it wasn't even a competition. What Cat can do bending the defense, because you got to guard him 30 feet out because he can hit those shots. Things just get really clogged for Anthony Edwards. I think that's part of the reason why he's taking so many threes is because there's no driving lanes. Jaden McDaniels can't shoot. Rudy Gobert is a gigantic offensive liability. So Anthony Edwards looks down at the paint and sees, oh, there's two guys down there. I can't drive into that. I'm an elite athlete, but I'm not a prime LeBron rim attacker. So yeah, I'm going to chuck up 11 threes per game. And although he's a good 3-point shooter now, he's a great 3-point shooter now. You would expect, if you said going into this season, Anthony Edwards shoots 11 threes a game on over 40%, you would think the Wolves would be runaway 1 seed in the Western Conference. He's leading the MVP race. Well, if you looked at a lot of his impact metrics, he's actually been worse this year compared to last year, despite the fact that he's become an extraordinary 3-point shooter. And the vibes are bad. Dante DiVincenzo can't hit shots. Julius Randle, I don't know how much longer he's going to be on that team. And then when you compare it to the team that we just talked about, the Knicks, Cat has been excellent. I think he would be an all-star starter if you had to pick today. He's been so good. And the Minnesota Timberwolves front office just cheaped out. They didn't want to pay the luxury tax for a couple more years, and unfortunately, that's what they're going to deal with. Let me just touch on Dallas real quick. Yeah, Dallas is going to win. Dallas is going to win. Dallas is going to cover. Luka has picked things up, although he's missed 7 games, which is quite a bit for Luka. He's usually a pretty consistent player.
I'm fine if he misses games early in the season. I don't care. Yeah,
but as I said a couple episodes ago, Kyrie's been fantastic. I think basically every addition that they've had over the last year has hit. Clay's shooting the ball better as of late. Najee Marshall's been good. Quentin Grimes shooting the laces off the ball right now. Then obviously Gafford and Lively, what they provide you, vertical spacing with the lobs, also the ability to block shots. They're a damn good team. I think Dallas is very clearly the second best team in the Western Conference right now.
I would agree with that. Going to the second best team by record in the East, my Boston Celtics are at home hosting the Philadelphia 76ers.
Oh, yeah, let's just brush over this one.
Yeah, this one, they should take care of business. I'm not even sure if Embiid will play. I hope I know he came back, put up 30. I could see them resting him just as like a giant FU to the league. I hope he does show up.
Imagine he just doesn't play on Christmas, and then they're just like, we're punting on this. Paul George, you're not going to play either.
My thinking on this was funny. It was like, I feel like because it's Christmas, the team will play harder, but it's the 76ers who consistently stink it up against Boston. So Celtics should win this. These teams are incredibly different, just how they're built. And as Joel Embiid says, they always kick our ass. It's not a rivalry, and it's not. And that's why I can't believe the league scheduled this game when right now you'd want to see Giannis Tatum again, because those matchups always deliver. And when it comes to the MVP race right now, the two Eastern Conference MVPs are Giannis and Tatum. So I'd rather see those guys duel than the has-been Eastern Conference MVP, Joel Embiid. That's just the reality.
Yeah, that was like the math that the NBA did. They said, oh, are we going to pick the Bucks or the 76ers? I think they saw the Paul George edition and they're like, oh, maybe the Sixers will be better. Unfortunately, that really hasn't worked out. As you said it, like, I think Boston, every time they play Philadelphia, wants to embarrass them.
Yep.
They want to put up as many points
Tatum
as
always
possible.
shows up. Tatum always shows up against them, Milwaukee and Brooklyn. Basically, the teams they beat on their way to the 22 championship, or the appearance. He wants to beat those teams every time. And I love it. And he's going to kick their ass. I'll take the over on points. I'll take the combo over. I'll take the Celtics to cover 9.5 too. I'll take all of it. Yeah,
I could totally see the Sixers, as you said, just giving a fuck you to the league and saying, yeah, we're not playing Embiid and we're not playing Paul George. Take that. Yep. And then also as we like, Jared McCain's out for the rest of the season.
Yep.
It's just a complete and total shit show in Philadelphia. They're the 12 seed. They've been playing better as of late, but they started out so poorly. Like, how could they possibly play worse than the first few weeks of the year? But yeah, Boston should have absolutely no problem. Like, if y'all want to take a nap on Christmas Day, you don't want to miss a close basketball game, this is the one to miss. This is the game to sleep
I would have
through.
even preferred Knicks Celtics, but they always give the Knicks the 12 o'clock, and they're not going to put the Celtics not in the primetime game. So it's like they should have picked Milwaukee. They picked the Sixers. Okay. Lakers Warriors. This is interesting because the Warriors are basically in free fall right now. They are stinking it up, not looking great. The Lakers were in free fall, but they've won, I believe, 3 in a row. So they're kind of on the back. LeBron's back. Everything seems fine at the moment, but this Lakers season has been so topsy-turvy that it could go bad again in a heartbeat. My take on this game is I know how LeBron is. He's a showman. He's going to have a big first quarter. I'm talking double-digit points, big dunk. People are going to be fired up. Steph Curry is going to have a big fourth quarter.
Ooh.
Big fourth quarter, Christmas night. The Lakers will run out of gas, and the Warriors will win. That's my prediction for this game. Again, it's just like these two guys. I love when LeBron and Steph get together. It's a home game for the Warriors, so I'm excited about that. I don't know. It's funny. These two teams, a month ago, I were like, these teams can contend. I'm not so sure anymore about both of these teams. I think the Warriors have to make that move, as we said last week with the Jimmy Butler video. The Lakers, I'm not sure what they do. The West is all over the place right now. I mean, we'll get to the next team, Phoenix, in a second. Phoenix is out of the playoff race right now, but they're a game and a half back of the 5 seed. So it really is like anyone's conference still, in the bottom half. I just feel like this is a Steph Curry being like, I'm still here game. He still shows up. But it's funny because you could easily make that argument for LeBron, Henry, and I imagine that's what you're about to do. So I give it to you.
Yeah, I just think the Warriors' offense, and that's the reason why they traded for Dennis Schroeder, is because so much of their offense would just get caught in the mud, and it would be so gross and so ugly. And Warriors fans are really mad at Steve Kerr for...
Really mad.
Yeah, they've incensed at Steve Kerr for... They've been wanting just... like James Harden style high pick and roll with Steph Curry 80 times a game. They've been wanting this for the last 5 years. I don't know why they think Steve Kerr is going to give in and do it. He's never shown an inclination to do so. So their offense really gets stuck. And Dennis Schroeder, that's why they made that move. Yeah. If not to eventually flip him for potentially a Jimmy Butler caliber player. But the Lakers defense sneaky is picking things up. And that was the problem with the start of the season for them, is offensively, Anthony Davis was excellent, got a lot of shots being made by guys like Rui Hachimura. And then they were just giving up like 128 points per game. That's picked up. They're 8th in defense over the last 10 games. Not a bunch of slouches on that schedule either. I think they allowed the Kings, one of the better offenses in the NBA. I think they held them to 100 points last time they played.
Yeah, they beat the Kings back-to-back games.
I know, Anthony Davis breaking the Domantas Sabonis curse.
I know.
How cool is that? Yeah, the Lakers held the Kings to 99 points and 100 points in back-to-back games. And as I said, yeah, that's a team that has serious offensive firepower. And to do that, they pretty thoroughly beat the Grizzlies a few nights before that as well. So the Lakers are picking up steam. LeBron, defensively, he's been really rough. Not going to lie, he's been really rough. He missed a couple of games. Then he came back and looked really good defensively.
Well, if I may, Hen, that's my whole issue with the team is that LeBron on defense is such a key part of what they do on defense, and he is just old. There's no disrespect about it. He is just old. And my hesitation with the Lakers is, yeah, they've played good defense over the last 10 games. Can they play good defense over the next 55 games and sustain it? I don't believe so.
Well, the thing is then if you can give LeBron extended rest for 2 or 3 games every 20 games or so, yeah, I think so. But can the offense sustain LeBron missing 3 to 4 games every month?
No.
Not sure about that because things can get really, really gross. As great as their defense has been, bottom 5 offense the last 10 games. So
that JJ Redick mind, man, he's freeing him up.
I think JJ's been a pretty good coach. I think he's been pretty good. I don't think he's not lighting the world on fire, but I think he's been pretty good. He's an NBA coach. He very clearly is an NBA caliber coach. He's not completely what's his name? Silas, the guy who was the coach of the Rockets for a few years when they were winning 21 games with Jalen Green running the show. That guy was very clearly a coach who was not ready. JJ Redick, I think, is ready. I think he is a competent enough coach. We'll see if he becomes a very good one. But yeah, of course I'm going to pick the Lakers. LeBron versus Steph. It's the league's dream. They put it, LeBron, the Celtics, the Warriors, and the Lakers are always going to occupy 3 of the 4 spots in the 5 o'clock and the 8 o'clock games. Whether it's the Lakers playing the Warriors or the Warriors playing the Lakers and the Celtics playing someone else, those 3 teams are the biggest names in basketball. They're always going to get 3 of those 4, 5 or 8 o'clock slots. So I'm picking the Lakers. The Warriors offense, I think, just looks really gross. I think Steve Kerr is trying to do too much with too many guys. Jonathan Kuminga stinks. When are we just going to admit, oh, he's still young. He's still young. Like he could. No, he's not good. He's not good.
I was wrong. MIP, that shit's gone. No shot. He stinks.
Yeah, he's just not. He's just not particularly good. Brandon Podjemski's taken a huge step back, shooting like 39%, 38% from the field. He's been really rough. So give me the Los Angeles Lakers. What's the line? Who's favored?
Golden State -3.5.
Give me the Lakers +3.5 and outright money line. Parlay it. Put the entire mortgage on it. Not gambling advice. Don't listen to me. All right. Lastly, Phoenix Suns taking on the Denver Nuggets and Nikola Jokic. I gotta just say something. I feel like the Suns and the Nuggets are the 10 o'clock game on Christmas literally every single year. Has that been the Christmas Day late game every single year? I feel like it is.
Yeah, I don't really care about this game at all. It says something to me that the league MVP is always playing this late. Phoenix, as I mentioned, is out of playoff contention at the moment, but they're only a game and a half back of Denver, so there's that. I think if Devin Booker plays, this could be an interesting game, actually.
Yeah, he's questionable.
If he doesn't play because of the groin, I'll take Denver. I hope he does play. Again, Phoenix, we've kind of lost track of Phoenix over the last couple of years. They just haven't really delivered, in my opinion. Denver, they're weathering the storm. There are nights they look good. There are nights they look bad. Yeah, Denver's Denver. But yeah, these teams always play, Henry. And I don't really know. It just doesn't have the juice for me. I'd rather throw the 76ers here. like do the Embiid Jokic thing late when all the kids are asleep, so they have to watch the horror show that is. Like, this game doesn't do a lot for me. If Booker plays, it's close. but I would still take Denver. And if Booker doesn't play, I'll certainly take Denver.
Yeah, the Suns are a very simple team. If Booker and Durant both play, they're pretty good. And if one of them misses any games, they're not very good. Like they're exactly what we thought they were. An incredibly
Correct.
top-heavy team with mediocre role player. Mediocre is one way of putting it. Bad role players.
Yep, bad.
Yusuf Nurkic has been pretty rough. Ryan Dunn, UVA legend, isn't quite shooting the ball as well as he was the first few weeks of the year.
Yeah, what a surprise.
And Denver, there's been a lot of rumors with Denver these last few weeks. Zach LaVine potentially, Michael Porter Jr. being involved in a deal. I think MPJ's actually been very good this year. I think he needs to get a little bit more volume. I think the problem with the Nuggets is twofold, because I do think Russell Westbrook has been actively good. Like, not just not awful. I think he's actually been pretty good for them. And MPJ, I think, has been good. Christian Brown's been good. But the main problem is that Jamal Murray's just gone. Like, a top 25 player in the league, Jamal Murray, that we all thought he was after 2 years ago, he's gone. He's not that guy anymore. He can show it in spurts, but until he plays a consistent 15 straight games of 26 point per game basketball, I'm not going to believe it. I'm not going to believe it. And then the surrounding role players, the 5th through 8th, 9th players stink. They're just not NBA rotation caliber. And they're going to have to do something, whether it's flipping MPJ for a couple of assets or compiling him, Zeke Naji, and a few picks for Zach LaVine, which is a really risky move because Zach LaVine, although he's been very good this year, gigantic injury question mark. The team's already bad on defense. This has been a really weak Jokic defensive year. Zach LaVine's not a lockdown defender. He has some question marks on that end. But yeah, Denver's going to have to make some moves. What's the line on this game? It's in Denver, right?
I actually didn't pull the line on this one, but I think Denver's favored -2.5.
Oh, it's in Phoenix. It's in Phoenix.
I still think Denver is favored. Sorry, give me 1 second. Pulled the line for every other game, and I just forgot about that.
How dare you?
I know. Pulled the line because I thought it'd be fun. Because the Suns and Denver play tonight as well. That's so stupid. Why would you do a double schedule?
They do? That's really dumb.
Yeah. So I don't think they have I can't even find this line. What the fuck? Yeah, they have it. They don't have...
maybe they don't have a
Denver's
line because they don't know about Booker.
Denver's favored right now for the game tonight at home, -5.5. If Booker doesn't play, I think Denver's going to come in like -2.5, -3.5. So I would take Denver to cover that.
Yeah, as I said, Phoenix without Booker or Durant, just not particularly good. But once they get Jimmy Butler, it's a whole new story for the Phoenix Suns, right?
All in all, though, not to sound like a fucking Grinch here, but just these games are a little blah this year. I'm not gonna lie, a little blah. You know, you don't have no Thunder, no Milwaukee. They wouldn't schedule Cleveland, but no Cleveland. Like, I don't know. The games, just a little blah for me. Just a little blah. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it seems like they're just hanging on to LeBron, Steph, and Durant.
I know.
Really are.
But hey, Merry Christmas, folks.
Merry Christmas to you.
Ho, ho, ho.